students. Today we are going to study how to give a short presentation. Do you ever give talks or presentations in your own language or in English? What are they about? Why would people give talks or presentations in these situations? At work, in meetings, presenting sales figures, or when selling to a client, when presenting a new product, when training staff, presenting company plans for the future, at school or university, in class, for example, presenting a piece of work, in exams, making a formal presentation, at university, for example, present research findings, to present arguments for a debate. At the meeting of a local club or town council, people make presentations on their area of interest or expertise for pleasure, a talk on local history. A special occasion, for example, a wedding. At a wedding, people make light-hearted speeches. And for example, the speeches of the father of the bride and the best man at the wedding telling funny stories. Exercise number 2. Listen to parts of a presentation about Peru and Machu Picchu. Which of the topics does the presenter talk about? Okay, we are going to read the script. You are going to underline the topics in exercise number 2 that the writer talks about. Let's read that. Good morning and thank you all for coming. Today, I'd like to talk about my holiday in Peru, and in particular about my journey to Machu Picchu. It's also called the lost city of the Incas. Let me begin by telling you about the history of Machu Picchu. It was discovered by the explorer Hiram Bingham in 1911. So, that's everything I wanted to say about Hiram Bingham. Now, let's look at the history of the Incas and why they built Machu Picchu. The first Incas lived in the region of Peru around the 19th century. Okay, now the next part of my presentation is about my own journey through Peru and up to Machu Picchu. For this, I'd like to show you some of my photos. So, this first one is a picture of me in the town of Aguascalientes. You have to catch the bus from here to Machu Picchu. Okay. So, to sum up, Peru, and especially Machu Picchu, is a magical place, and anyone who's interested in history should go there. Are there any questions? So, as we noticed, the topics that he includes are the history of Machu Picchu, the history of the Incas, and his own journey. Exercise number 3. Listen again and complete the expressions for giving a short presentation. You are going to underline the expressions in the script, but now let's complete them together and you complete them in your book. Good morning and thank you all for coming. Today, I'd like to talk about. Let me begin by telling you about. So that's everything I wanted to say about. Now let's look at the next part of my presentation is about. I'd like to show you some of my photos to sum up. And are there any questions? So these are the expressions that he uses for presentations and are generally used in presentations. So let's explain some of them. Let me means allow me to, and is a polite way to request permission to speak or continue to speak. In the context of a presentation is a polite formal convention. Let's or let us is used to make a suggestion or invitation. In the context of a presentation, it's used to invite the audience to move with the speaker on to the next point. Again, it's a polite convention. I'd like to is used as a polite convention. The speaker is asking for permission. The convention wins over the listeners because of its polite inclusiveness. Okay, and exercise 4. Presenters often pause at the end of a sentence, at the end of a phrase, or before and after important words they want to emphasize. Listen and read the first part of the presentation. Notice the first 4 pauses and write in the other pauses. Okay, I have written the other pauses. They are in red. But let's read that together. Okay? Good morning, and thank you all for coming. Today, I'd like to talk about my holiday in Peru, and in particular, about my journey to Machu Picchu. It's also called the lost city of Incas. Let me begin by telling you about the history of Machu Picchu. Okay, exercise number 4 is a homework. So, you are going to prepare a short presentation thinking about a historical place you have visited. You have got 3 questions there in exercise number 5. Where is it? So you start with that. Why is it important and who lived there in the past? Don't forget to use the phrases that are in exercise 3 and we mentioned, and follow this outline. After you finish that, send the photo of your homework by email. Thank you for your attention. This was the lesson for today.